It has been a really enjoyable start, not just to the WrestleMania weekend, but to the WrestleMania week, attending the Scottish Wrestling Entertainment Uprising event at Adler Complex on Saturday, and last night the Too Hot for PG show at Bar 15 on Ward Road here in Dundee. So it's really put me in the mood for this weekend. WrestleMania, what a thrilling event. No matter whatever anybody else says, no matter what events going on, independent shows, it's always, it's always WWE and WrestleMania's weekend mostly. And in this video, I want to just throw my hat in the ring when it comes to predictions, go through them. Obviously, a lot of people are making the predictions. Ministry of Slam are actually back. You can find it, their new episode on YouTube. They've got it back together. I'm kind of just started listening to the episodes, and I'll listen to the rest of it later on. But while I have the opportunity, I want to go through make my predictions and talk through the weekend a little bit. Before I do get to the actual matches, I want to quickly run down the Hall of Fame class of 2017. I did a previous video that I deleted last night, kind of talking about this weekend a little bit, but we didn't know the full list of inductors then, so we'll very quickly run that down. We have Eric Legrand receiving the Warrior Award, former Rutgers University football player who was paralysed and has since become a quite inspirational, it seems, motivational speaker. That will, of course, be presented by Dana Warrior. Ravishing Rick Rude will be inducted by Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. I have to say, if you haven't watched it, I think it was these two gentlemen had a 30-minute Iron Man match at one of the, I think it's Bash at the Beach or Beach Blast. It's a really good match. Beth Phoenix will be inducted by Natalia. Eric Bischoff will induct Diamond Dallas Page. The APA, John Bradshaw Layfield and Ron Simmons, A.K. Farouk, will induct Theodore R. Long. In one of the most surprising appearances, I think, of the year so far, Jim Cornette will in fact induct the Rock and Roll Express, Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson. I really look forward to the speech. I don't think it'll blow everybody out of the water like a lot of people expect it to do, but I think whatever Jim Cornette says will be good to hear. And of course, the headliner for the Hall of Fame, Kurt Angle, will be inducted by the man who Angle faced when he made his debut, talking about John Cena. It was his debut, of course, the Ruthless Aggression, everybody remembers that. And I'm really glad to see Kurt Angle back in the WWE. And I said it quite a while ago, I think we'll see Kurt Angle in the next video game. I hope that we'll see a few of these guys. I know Rick Rude's already in it. Love to see the Rock and Roll Express in the next one. But that's the list of Hall of Fame and their inductees. So we can very quickly move on to the NXT TakeOver. Now, this is really interesting to me from a UK wrestling point of view, because there's three people that I'm really interested in watching when it comes to Saturday's TakeOver event, because the Hall of Fame was obviously happening tonight as I record. This is now Friday the 31st of March 2017, so that means the Hall of Fame is tonight or tomorrow UK time. I'm not sure entirely what the start times are. I'll look that up on the WWE network. I haven't looked forward to watching them, but Saturday night going into Sunday, or Saturday night in Orlando it's NXT TakeOver. 5 matches listed on Wikipedia. I don't think there'll be any added really. If there are, it'll be very quick, because it's only about a 2-hour show normally for the takeovers. Interesting point from the UK perspective, at least 3 people involved that I'm really happy to see involved in this show. And I'll go through them as I get to them, but they're actually in the first 2 matches. I'm going to try and cover all of this relatively quickly. The first match, Ty Dillinger, Roderick Strong, No Way Jose, and Ruby Riott faces Sanity in an 8-person mixed tag team match, which means, of course, Sanity are Nikki Cross, Alexander Wolf, Killian Dane, and Eric Young. Now, out of those, I am really extremely happy to see Killian Dane and Nikki Cross be involved in this. Overjoyed to see them a part of the last takeover, but to see them as part of this WrestleMania weekend is a fantastic thing, and hopefully at some point in the future we will see them on the main roster. I really do hope so. I said I was going to make predictions. I have to stick with sanity. I've been a long time fan of Killian Dane. I knew him, a lot of people know him as Damien O'Connor in the UK, but I will call him now Killian Dane because that is his name now. And Nikki Cross, of course, formerly known as Nikki Storm. Definite sanity interests me, and I'm a fan of those two. And I've always liked Eric Young as well. Alexander Wolf, he seems decent, but I'm certainly going for sanity in that one. The next one, also a gentleman I'm really much interested in making his NXT debut officially, is Aleister Black, formerly known as Tommy End. He's a really good wrestler. He's a very good performer. I'm sure he was. I'm sure I've seen him. I think it wasn't last year or the year before. I think might be as part of the ICW Fear and Loathing event, and obviously I watch him ICW shows, and he's appeared in various different promotions. He's actually from Holland, but I'm really looking forward to seeing his debut and see how he is presented. Very interesting kind of fade to black vignettes that have been played on NXT. Haven't been able to keep up with everything, unfortunately, WWE related, due to various reasons lately. But he's, according to Wikipedia, scheduled to go against Andrade Cien Almas, formerly La Sombra. So that might be a good match. So I am a little bit disappointed to see Andrade Almas in the current situation he is in NXT. So again, Aleister Black for that one. The Authors of Pain, Akam and Razor with Paul Ellering will defend the NXT Tag Team Championships against DIY, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa versus The Revival in a triple threat tag team match for those titles. I'm a little bit split on this one. I'd like to see Authors of Pain retain it. I think they've been doing some decent work, but I'm going to pick Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa to win this one. I'm really hoping that the Revival may be one of those people that we see move up to the main roster in the next couple of weeks. I really do think it's time for them to do it. The same as I think it's time for Asuka to do that, and she will defend the NXT Women's Championship against Ember Moon. I think it's time for Asuka to move up, and I think that we can certainly think that because she seems to be being bled into some of the WWE live events. She's been a kind of a guest lately. So I think Asuka may drop the title and go up to the main roster. I think, my honest opinion, I think that people like Asuka, if they've garnered and done enough in NXT to move up to the main roster, I don't think they should just give up the titles. I don't think they should just vacate the championships. Maybe at some point somebody can do that and say, you know what, I've been invited to the main roster, here's your championship. I'm not willing, do it as obviously storyline. But I think when these sorts of talents move up to the main roster, I think that they should lose the championship in a match. They should drop the titles honourably in a match, and I think that's what Asuka's going to do tomorrow night. I think Ember Moon will win the NXT Women's Championship. I think the same kind of thing can apply to Shinsuke Nakamura. I believe he's been guesting a little bit as well, and I think it's time, to be honest, to move him up. They've got a few names now that I think could fill that void. I know he's been, especially the way that Shinsuke's been advertised for that tour. I think it's June, July, that they're doing a mini tour of the UK, including the Download, and they're appearing in Aberdeen. And the way that he's been advertised, it's like he's a very special guest instead of just part of the NXT roster. So I think and I would pick Bobby Roode anyway, but I think Shinsuke Nakamura might be going to the main roster soon. Just the way he's advertised for that tour, it's oh look, special guest Shinsuke Nakamura has been added to the tour instead of he is part of the NXT roster. He surely should be on the tour as standard. So I'm going to go Bobby Roode. I'm going to go Bobby Roode anyway to retain the NXT Championship when he faces Shinsuke Nakamura tomorrow night. So 5 matches. Looking forward to NXT Takeover. Should be a decent event. Hopefully, just like last year, we will see the NXT crowd go mental, and hopefully the NXT stars really lay down the gauntlet for the main roster when it comes to WrestleMania. And speaking of WrestleMania, of course, there are 13 matches so far scheduled for WrestleMania, and I think that should be it. I think there's certainly enough. I think it's going to be another 4-hour pay-per-view. 2 of the matches are scheduled for the pre-show. There is the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal 2017. There's a list of the names for those. If I can zoom in a little bit on my list that I've taken from Wikipedia. Mojo Rawley, Apollo Crews, Big Show, Kurt Hawkins, Braun Strowman, Goldust, R-Truth, Primo, Epico, Curtis Axel, Bo Dallas, Jinder Mahal, Sami Zayn, Fandango, Tyler Breeze, Dolph Ziggler, Rhino, Heath Slater, Jason Jordan, Chad Gable, Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, Connor, Victor, Kalisto, Aiden English, Simon Gotch, Sin Cara, Titus O'Neil, Mark Henry, and Zhang Bing. Probably not pronouncing that properly, but Zhang Bing, Tianbing, who is, I believe, one of the Chinese superstars. He is going to be a special kind of NXT representative in that Memorial Battle Royal. But I think that's obviously try and pull in the Chinese crowd, but maybe he's ready to do that. They tried something similar with Hideo Itami a couple of years ago now. Try and get the Japanese fans watching, so it may be the same thing. Also on the pre-show, Neville will defend the Cruiserweight Championship against Austin Aries. To be honest, Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, I'm going to go actually Braun Strowman on that one. I didn't make a prediction there. I'm going to go Braun Strowman because I think he would. You don't get much for winning that Battle Royal, but you just get the introduction. Get it mentioned in your introduction for the next year maybe. But I'm going to go Braun Strowman. I think he could do with a big, if they can try and make it a significant win, I think he could do with it. Neville versus Austin Aries. I think Neville is going to retain the title. I would love to see Austin Aries win the Cruiserweight Championship, and I'm really glad to see him on the as part of the WrestleMania weekend and actual wrestling. He'll get his opportunity. Whatever people say about the pre-show, not being a part of WrestleMania officially or whatever, you're going out there. Okay, fans might be still coming in. We're not, and normally that's what the case is, but you're still walking out on the WrestleMania stage, wrestling in the WrestleMania ring, in front of a huge crowd. It's still a huge part. It's still part of WrestleMania. To me, even the pre-show matches, they are part of WrestleMania. So it's going to be good. Like I said, Neville to retain. I think it's too early. I think it would take away too much from Neville's work as a heel lately. So as much as I'd like to see Austin Aries win the title, I think Neville would be best keeping it. The main card shows there is Alexa Bliss defending the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship against Becky Lynch, Natalya, Mickie James, Carmella, who's accompanied by James Ellsworth, against Naomi. I saw some people suggest that maybe Naomi would kind of come into the match late, maybe, because I believe it's her hometown, and maybe take the victory. I would actually like to see Alexa Bliss retain it. I think they did something similar a couple of years ago. It was maybe a few years ago now. I think it was AJ Lee. Maybe retained the championship against. Yeah, I'm sure it was the night before Paige made her debut. Whatever WrestleMania it was a few years ago now. So maybe Naomi could reclaim that title, but I would actually like to see Alexa Bliss retain the title. Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson will defend the Raw Tag Team Championships against Enzo Amore and Big Cass, and also versus Cesaro and Sheamus in a triple threat ladder match. Really glad to see this one is listed seemingly as being an actual WrestleMania match. Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson are two guys who deserve a WrestleMania moment. I know Luke Gallows has appeared at WrestleMania before. I think it was part of the Straight Edge Society with CM Punk. But those two guys deserve to walk out on WrestleMania, on the main show of WrestleMania. They deserve it. They really, truly do. All the work they do, I really like them. I would like to go Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson to retain, but I'm really with the publicity. You watch the WrestleMania Monday WWE 24/7 thing on the WWE Network and everything that's going on. I think Enzo Amore and Big Cass, I think, will possibly pick up the Raw Tag Team Championship. I think it's maybe an opportunity for them to take the win because of the reaction, because they're so popular. I don't know how much merchandise they move, but I think Enzo and Big Cass, I think will pick up the victory. So I'm going to go Enzo Amore and Big Cass. As much as I'd like to stick with Gallows and Anderson, and it's great that it's great that they get the WrestleMania moment, and I hope they knock out the park. I hope all three teams knock out the park on Sunday, because they deserve. They really need to, and I think they deserve to. I think Enzo and Big Cass will take the WWE Raw Tag Team Championships. Dean Ambrose will defend the Intercontinental Championship against Baron Corbin. I'd like to see a switch of the title here. I think Baron Corbin desperately needs something. He came in, he was fairly decent. A lot of people don't really rate Baron Corbin, and there is something missing. I've said it for a long time. There is something missing in Baron Corbin. Something I don't know. I can't put my finger on. I don't know what it is exactly, but there's something missing. But I'd like to see him try, and I would like to see him as Intercontinental Champion. John Cena and Nikki Bella versus Miz and Maurice in a mixed tag team match. I think it's the first intergender tag team match for WrestleMania in quite some time. I don't like Cena, really. I'm not a fan. I would like to see Miz and Maurice take the victory, especially considering that Cena's going away again after WrestleMania, reportedly. So I think Miz and Maurice could do with the promotional push. You've got to think of those who will still be there after WrestleMania. And that actually comes up later on in the matches. I'll try and go through them. So Miz and Maurice to defeat John Cena and Nikki Bella. I think Chris Jericho taking on Kevin Owens for the United States Championship again. I'd like to see Kevin Owens win this one again. Jericho's away again, after WrestleMania. Not necessarily that he's away immediately, that he couldn't drop the title, but I'd like to see Kevin Owens take the victory, because Jericho's been around for many, many years, and I think Kevin Owens needs that big push again. He came in as monster in NXT, and he hasn't really been the big force to be reckoned with for a little while now. I'd like to see him return to that. And I think a victory over Chris Jericho at WrestleMania, it's not going to harm Jericho. Jericho's a Hall of Famer in the future. He's a talented wrestler. He is one of the best at what he does. But I like to see Kevin Owens win. Bayley versus Charlotte Flair versus Sasha Banks versus Nia Jax in a fatal 4-way match for Bayley's WWE Women's Championship. Oh, now this one's a very difficult one to call as well. I've been thinking about this match as one of the matches that I found difficult to pick a winner of. I think I said it last year for WrestleMania. I like to see all of these women have their WrestleMania moment. I think all deserve a WrestleMania moment. I'm gonna go with Bayley, because I think I'd like to see her just retain. Charlotte's had the title before, Sasha's had the title before. Nia Jax, maybe not quite ready for the women's championship, but then again, maybe she'll surprise people when she takes it, because I think a Raw Women's Championship reign is in her future. Certainly, she's a great performer. I'd like to see Bayley retain. Shane McMahon versus AJ Styles. Shane McMahon lost quite heavily to The Undertaker last year. We knew he was going to get beaten when he went in. Again, this is very difficult. I would go for Shane McMahon because he lost last year. I think he may not have been able to beat The Undertaker, but I think somehow he may be able to beat AJ Styles. Seth Rollins versus Triple H in a non-sanctioned match. I'm going to go Seth Rollins for this one because I do not want to see Triple H book himself like he did against Sting for the win. Talking about Undertaker, he's against Roman Reigns. Again, as much as I would like to, I don't know, I would like to go the Undertaker, but I'm going to go with Roman Reigns. I'm not a fan of his. I don't feel he's not relatable to me. I just don't feel that connection with Roman Reigns, but I'm going to go Roman Reigns over The Undertaker. I just think it'd be better if Roman Reigns wins. It wouldn't have the impact that Brock Lesnar did at WrestleMania 30, but you've got to give something to Roman Reigns. The fans will crap on him if he wins. I know they will. They'll crap all over him, and there'll be complaints. I think either way, there'll be complaints either way because Roman Reigns is certainly a very divisive person. Some people really like him. A lot of people really hate him, but I'm going to go with Roman Reigns over The Undertaker, as controversial as that might be. Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar for Goldberg's Universal Championship. I think that's easy. I'm going to go Brock Lesnar. I don't think Goldberg's done yet. He did put a statement on Twitter saying, the reason why I seem, the reports are to some people that I've been a bit down or a bit upset or a little bit, it's because it takes a lot of it takes a lot physically out of you to have these matches and to perform at the level I want. It's very physically demanding, and you got to think he's about 50, coming up about 50 odd or something. So Goldberg's an older guy now, but I think Lesnar will take it because I think Goldberg might step away for a little while. I think Goldberg will step away, and I think Lesnar will take the Universal Championship. When it comes to where we left, just the main. Hopefully, actually, I'm not too sure exactly what the main event will be, but I'll go with the way it's listed here. When you're talking about Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton for the WWE Championship, I have to go Bray Wyatt. I can see Randy Orton winning the title, to be honest. If I'm honest, I can see one of the last images of WrestleMania this year being Randy Orton winning the WWE Championship. I can honestly see that happening. But I would like to see Bray Wyatt. I said it, I think, last year, and I've said it loads of times. I really want to see a long reign as champion for Bray Wyatt. A real darkness surrounding the WWE. Have him kind of... I know he's got the Wyatt family, but kind of Ministry of Darkness-esque summer in WWE. I'd really like to see him do that. Have it really dark, have him really bring up the darkness a notch or two more. Because it's always hinted at, it's always there in the background, but I would like to see Bray Wyatt be walking out WrestleMania with the WWE Championship this coming Sunday at the Citrus Bowl or Camping World Stadium, whatever it's called nowadays, in Orlando. I think Bray Wyatt really needs to step away from WrestleMania, still WWE Champion, and rule SmackDown. So I think I'm in agreement with a lot of people. Looking at the card, it doesn't look like it's going to be too thrilling, really too exciting. But I think match by match is where it's going to be. I think the matches individually, you look at them, they don't look overall great. But I think when we get into it, I think It'll be a lot better than some people expect. I'm really looking forward to it.